Hello and welcome to TVOL. Today we're going to be taking a look at some data from the match between Brentford and Manchester United, where United ran out 3-1 winners in the end. We're going to be using this data from the website fbref.com to give us an objective view of why the game was won and lost, and also to give us some clues into the tactics that were used by each side. The first thing we can notice here is that Brentford are on a poor run of results, including this one. Of the last 5 matches, they have lost 4 of them, they have won only 1. Manchester United, by contrast, have picked up a couple of wins of those 5 matches, including this one loss, and a couple of draws. But the underlying form is better represented by their expected goals difference, and it is more or less exactly the same for Brentford versus Man United, again including this match. So what that means is that both sides are roughly as many chances as they are creating. So the results that they are attaining are partly down to luck. In the case of the contrast between these two teams, probably also due to moments of individual quality and the quality of finishing. And also De Gea, the goalkeeper, who tends to rescue United when they are in poor form, which arguably they are in now, even though they're picking up some reasonable results. Now we are going to begin our tour through this match data. First of all, looking at the number of shots. Brentford had 18 shots, Man United had 13. The average throughout this data is represented in the grey bar. That's nearly 13 shots. So you can say that Brentford had more threat on the Manchester United goal. Shots on target. Brentford had 9, so not far off double. Manchester United's total of 5, the league average being there 4.1. So we're building a picture here of Brentford actually many times, and especially during the first half, dominating this match with the goalkeeper De Gea bailing Manchester United out at times. Now we can look at expected goals. So we looked at expected goals difference across the course of the season for these two clubs a moment ago. Now we're looking at the expected goals from this match itself, and it is very, very even. So again, the result of matches like this would be down to luck, moments of individual quality. What we humans suffer is a couple of things. One is outcome bias, a 3-1 win, so you therefore expect that United performance was pretty dominant. It wasn't. And also a thing called peak end rule, which dictates that the end of the match, or in this case the second half of the match, is the one that you remember more than the first half, leading you to believe that United dominated this match. If you listen to the post-match comments of Thomas Frank, the Brentford manager, he certainly has the opposite view. Then if you look at expected goals per shot, this is a great way of getting an understanding of the quality of the chances that were created. And here you start to get a sense, perhaps, of why United ended up running out 3-1 winners. They didn't create as many opportunities overall, but the opportunities they created, certainly the second 2 goals on the transition, on the counter, were relatively high quality and high probability goal scoring opportunities. Now we are going to look at possession, and this data is going to start to give us some further clues as to why Man United's strategy on this case resulted in a victory. So the possession was in favour of United with 56%. They're not a particularly, at the moment certainly, possession orientated side. Brentford are quite direct. So they do look to retain possession. It's not like they play particularly long, which we'll look at in a second. But towards the right-hand side of that overall possession stat of 44%, you can see that their pass accuracy was only 70%. So on almost a third of occasions, they were giving away the ball back to Man United, or at least resulting in what Ranić referred to as second ball opportunities, where the ball is loose, and then it's a so-called 50-50 to retain that possession. So now looking at the type of passing, as said, Brentford certainly not a long ball team. They go direct at times, so do Manchester United. United, for example, 48% of their passes were short. Brentford slightly lower than that at 43, but they both play in a similar, you might describe it, if you're a Football Manager fan, as a mixed style, so mixing up short, medium and long passes. Now, some really interesting information on the extent to which the passes for each side, United and Brentford, were progressive. Progressive pass is just one that is attempting to break the lines, to move the ball vertically forward, as opposed to just possession for its own sake and circulating the ball. So Brentford were more direct in the sense of they were looking to move the ball quickly, and as a proportion of their passes they were more often looking to move the ball forward quickly. United were more passive and considered in their possession, and are actually below the Premier League average for this match versus all matches so far at 7.3%. So more considered, more reserved. Probably Ranić himself was worried about Brentford's prowess on the counter-attack, so he didn't want to move the ball forward too quickly and risk those counter-attacking situations. Now looking at share of possession in each third, you can see that United had most of their possession, 48%, in the middle of the pitch, slightly lower for Brentford. United were not able to push Brentford back during the whole course of the match, having only 24% of their possession in the attacking third. So as per the cliche, this game was won and lost in the midfield, and Ranić in the post-match press conference was really keen to emphasise, for example, McTominay's performance, especially in the second half, winning those second balls and duels, as he described them, in order to dominate. So this again is painting a picture of a fairly even match overall that was won and lost in key moments. Now looking at what each of these teams did without the ball, or against the ball as Ranić likes to put it. So pressures per opposition touch is an overall measure of how much pressure each of these teams put the opposition under. Brentford were much more aggressive in the press overall on average. So 0.31 pressures per opposition touch versus 0.15 for Manchester United versus a league average of 0.24. So United remain, as they were under Solskjaer, as they were under Mourinho, a relatively passive team without the ball. But what we saw in this match, which I think is really interesting, is that they really picked their moments. Brentford, in contrast, especially in the first half, were swarming all over Manchester United and creating all sorts of difficulties for them defensively, which again De Gea bailed them out from. But if we look here at pressing success rate, United were relatively successful in the extent to which their pressing enabled them to win the ball back. And what I think, I mean, I don't know what was in the manager's mind before this match, but they probably knew that Brentford were going to be quite risky with their passing, not necessarily hitting long balls or anything, but trying to move the ball forward vertically, quickly in order to put Man United under pressure. If you're giving away the ball 30% of the time, then United can reasonably expect to pick up that possession, which they did do in the second half, especially through Fred, as busy as ever, poor in possession but excellent out of possession, and McTominay, more of an all-rounder, were able to dominate that midfield area. But that's not really the point here. They were able to pick the ball up at important moments when Brentford's defence was relatively disorganised, having just given away the ball. That's why we talk about the success of these counter-pressing moments. So in conclusion, Brentford looked better than their recent results would indicate. They were the ones that were really trying to dominate this match in their own particular style, putting the opposition under a lot of pressure, moving the ball progressively quickly. You could see some hints, as I just mentioned, of Ranić's emphasis on those counter-pressing or transition or counter-attacking moments. But if you replayed this match again, you could easily see the scoreline being reversed in favour of Brentford. It was, as said, very even from the point of view of expected goals, which is about the quality and number of chances that are created. And again, United, as they have often been in recent years, heavily reliant on outstanding goalkeeping from De Gea. And that is it for now. If you like this video, please express that by hitting the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, and why not leave me a comment, and I'll get back to you, and we will see you next time.